Hey, good morning, and welcome to our first State of the Organization webinar. I'm Tim Mulligan, the President and CEO of Communities and Schools of the Lehigh Valley, and I want to thank you for giving this half hour today. I came to Communities and Schools back in 2011, and one of the things that attracted me about this organization was that we were focused on helping kids stay in school and be successful. I don't think there's any other opportunity that I could have had that could have done as much good. We're helping kids every day stay in school and graduate from high school. And in doing so, opens up all kinds of possibilities in their lives. I'm proud of the fact that this organization is touching the lives of this year. That our focus is to ensure that every child has what they need to stay in school and to graduate. So here's what we're going to do today. And here's our agenda. First, we're going to talk about where the organization has been and where we are going. Secondly, review some of our results and even share a couple of our stories, our success stories. Thirdly, share some of the new initiatives that we've begun over the past year. And fourth, share with you what we have learned. We're a learning organization, and we're trying to put what we learn into practice every day. And finally, an opportunity for you to ask questions. So here we go. As I said, Communities and Schools, we're a growing organization. And as you can see from this chart, where we've come in the last 5 years, we have doubled the number of schools that we're serving in. Although our budget has tripled, I'm proud to say that the number of students that we're impacting has increased by more than 6 times. And I think what that says is we're trying to use every dollar, every opportunity to leverage those dollars to serve more kids and to serve them more effectively. It's been an exciting time of growth, and during that time of growth, we've not only improved the quantity of students that we're serving, but also the quality of students that we're serving. Here's a list of the schools and the school sites where we're serving currently. As you can see, we're currently in 5 different school districts. We've expanded from 3 to 5. The bulk of our resources are there in the Allentown School District and elementary, middle, and high school. But those other schools, Whitehall School District, Eastern Area School District, and Bethlehem School District, are also strategic areas where we want to grow our dropout prevention resources. I'm just going to pause for a minute. We're getting some background noise. If you can, please mute your phone. Okay. Thank you. So let's talk about some of our outcomes for 2014-15. Recall, Communities and Schools provide 3 tiers of service. We reach the entire school with what we call Tier 1. Okay, again, if there's some background noise, if you could try to mute your phone. As I said, Tier 1 are those services that reach the entire school. Tier 2 are those targeted group interventions. And our Tier 3, which are the case-managed supports. So we're often dealing with the highest need students in any particular school, whether it's elementary, middle, or high school. And our results are that between 68 and 71% of the students that we work with are achieving their academic, their attendance, and their behavior goals. And of those high-risk seniors that we're working with, 80% of them are graduating on time, which again is our organizational goal. And 90% of students are promoted to the next grade level. But you know, data is important and it drives our organization. But it's the stories, you know, of how it impacts one student at a time. And let me share a story of Michael. Michael was a junior in high school. English was his second language. And Michael was doing very poorly in school. In fact, he had failed for 2 marking periods, all of his classes. Michael was embarrassed. He didn't want to go to school. And he was on track to drop out of school. But he connected with one of our communities and school staff who really worked with Michael, helped him to see that his future was going to be much brighter if he stayed in school and graduated. We worked with the teachers and to help the teachers to welcome Michael back into class. And then we helped to put targeted interventions in place for Michael. Michael began to improve slowly and did very well in his next 2 marking periods. At the beginning of his senior year, Michael came running to that CIS staff person with his report card. He was excited to say, I got a 3.86 grade point average. Here was a student who had gotten all F's and now was receiving all A's with B's. And if the story ended there, that would be a great story. But it actually gets better because now we've connected Michael with LaSalle University, and Michael is going to be going into a special program for students with English as a second language. He's going to have his expenses paid and a wonderful program that's going to help him to achieve his goal of not only graduating high school, but graduating college. And that's the kind of thing that CIS does.
Welcome to WebEx. Enter your access code or meeting number followed by pound.
I want to take a moment now and just share with you some of our new ventures that we started in 2015-16. As I said, one of the new school districts we entered this year is Reading Intermediate High School. As you know, Reading in 2013 was designated as the poorest city in America. And with that comes a lot of problems and challenges, both for the residents and also in the schools. Dr. Khalid Momin and Communities and Schools met and talked about deploying a team of 3 full-time CIS staff at Reading Intermediate High School. I'm happy to say that in our first year, we're doing some great case management, working with 130 staff. And as the year has gone, we've had some wonderful results. 89% of those case managed students are achieving their academic goals. 87% are achieving their attendance goals. And 92% are achieving their behavior goals. And we expect more great things and even expansion of services in Reading in the coming years. Another really exciting venture has been the Allentown ReEngagement Center. Back a year and a half ago, came to us and said, what can we do for the students who have already dropped out of school? How can we reach them? And in a partnership with the Allentown School District, the Lehigh Valley Workforce Development Board, and Communities and Schools, we came up with this design to re-engage dropouts aged 16 to 24 and to reconnect them into school. It's a wonderful program that has multiple ways of engaging in academics, either a GED route or a diploma route. Communities and Schools is providing project management and also case management. And workforce development is providing that all-important career services, both in the present and also preparing these students for what lies ahead. We're very excited too that another outgrowth of this is Youth Build that's just starting this week. We have several students who are going to engage in a GED and also acquire construction skills as they move forward, attain that educational and career skills, and then ready to move forth into successful careers. So we're very excited about the Allentown ReEngagement Center. Our goal for year 1 was to re-engage 50 students, and in just 5 months, we reached 100, 3 of whom have already achieved the GED, and several who are on track to get their high school diploma in June. And Whitehall High School, after having a successful career services program at Whitehall, we now have a full-time psych coordinator who's working with high-risk students, doing some wonderful work in drug abuse, drug and alcohol support for those students and their families, and helping those kids to stay connected and improve and on track to graduate. Let me take a few minutes and just talk about what we learned, because we are a learning organization, and each year we're trying to improve our services and improve not only the quantity of services, but the quality of services. And the first one I call the power of peer-to-peer supports. The past friend of ours, Dr. Michelle Schmidt, volunteered that her class for her students at Moravian College would do a kind of a data evaluation for us. They looked at the outcomes in 3 of the high schools where we work, and to look at how, what kind of outcomes are we getting, compare the different kind of services in terms of the outcomes. And here's what came out of that. The group interventions, in other words, the peer-to-peer support that students give to each other, was actually more successful than even the one-to-one case management that we provide. This is a real wonderful insight for our organization. And what we're doing now is we're trying to put more and more of these peer support opportunities in place for students so that they can help each other and support each other in improving their lives. The second, understanding trauma in our students. You know, there's a wealth of information out there about trauma-informed support. And we've been taking this opportunity really to help to educate our staff about trauma, about the effects of trauma, and how that manifests itself in the life of our students and in the life of their families. We've learned much about trauma, and we're dedicated this summer to putting more trainings and opportunities in place so that our students can be, if not experts, at least lead those students and families to those places where they can get professional services. We're very excited about this, and we think it'll be most important in helping students be successful in school. And thirdly, maybe it's not so much a learning, but it's a relearning about how important hope is in the lives of our students. You know, for years we've had a school to career program, and what we're doing is we're exposing some of these high-risk students to career opportunities. You know, when a student doesn't see hope in their life, there's not much reason to stay in school. There's not much reason to think my life is going to be better than it can be. But we want to open those doors to our students, help them to see that they can actually have a career and wake up on a Monday morning and want to come to work and be excited about the kind of work they're doing and excited about their career. So we've been bringing them to places like Olympus, Polytech, and B. Braun, and even some other smaller corporate settings, helping students to see what jobs look like and office spaces look like, and helping them to see how I can get from where I am today to that step. And CIS is there to help them at every point in the journey. So we're getting to the end here. So let me talk about the state of CIS today. First of all, we are a mission-driven organization and a data-driven organization. We're committed to a vision where the Lehigh Valley and Berks County have no dropouts. And we want to be the leader in helping to mobilize those resources to ensure that every student has everything they need. And in order to have this kind of a successful organization, we need leadership on all levels. And whether it's the board of directors, a wonderful dedicated board of directors, my senior leadership team, and our site coordinators and our staff, who will do whatever it takes for students to help them to be successful. I couldn't be more proud of this organization and our focus, our singular focus on ensuring that kids get what they need to be successful in school. Secondly, we are a strong and growing organization. Our financial position has improved. We have been growing and growing with quality. We have now the capacity to impact more of the region, and I'm excited about our future, about working in new school districts and working with those high need students. We love the school partners that we have now in our 5 school districts, and we're excited about a future where we can work with partners so that there's no more dropouts in Lehigh Valley. Thirdly, we're a TQS certified organization. What that means is Total Quality System. Our national organization certifies certain affiliates around the country for sound business practices and great program outcomes. And we're proud to be a certified organization and on the road to being recertified this year. Next, we're working in partnerships with cross-sector organizations to benefit kids and families. Again, one of the things that I think is a real strength of communities and schools is that we don't see ourselves as doing everything, but we are a connector. We want to connect with those great nonprofits, whether it's Valley Youth House or Boys and Girls Club or Center for Humanistic Change or all those great nonprofits who are working in the community. We want to connect with healthcare providers, mental health providers, with those who provide basic needs, government organizations. We connect with faith communities. Whoever can be a help in helping kids succeed, we want to tie them in. So we do some of our best work in those partnerships and across sectors to help kids become successful. And as I mentioned, our commitment to quality and data analysis. We hired this year our first ever data analyst, and she's doing wonderful work, helping us to dive deeper into our data and putting in the hands of our staff up-to-date data so that they can look at student attendance and really adjust our program and adjust our strategy. This has been a wonderful addition to communities and schools. And finally, the state of CIS, we're changing lives. And this is what I'm most proud of. We're here to change lives and change communities. Every time a student drops out of school, it closes doors for that individual student. But it also hurts the community. And the community invests a lot in students who have dropped out. So when we help a student to stay in school and be successful, we are giving that student opportunity and hope, and we're revitalizing our community. We're very proud of it. Finally, I'd like to thank our board of directors. As I said, we have a wonderful board of directors who's very dedicated to this organization, opening doors for us and to helping this organization grow with quality and bringing the kind of services we offer to elementary, middle, and high schools throughout the Lehigh Valley. And finally, thank you. Thank you for all of you who have participated today. I want to thank our funders. We work so closely with United Way, with some of our wonderful partner funders like Trexler Trust, Century Fund, Philippine Herd, and so many other wonderful supporters. We're excited about the support that we receive and excited that you're partners with us. I want to end with a story, and this comes from our ReEngagement Center. Tommy was 5 credits short of graduating high school when he dropped out. A family emergency really kind of necessitated this, and Tommy went from school into full-time work to help his family. Tommy was getting up at 3:30 in the morning, getting on a bus, and going, driving 90 minutes in the bus to where he was on his feet for 12 hours a day, working a very hard job. We connected with Tommy and asked him, Tommy, how about we give you an opportunity to get back into school and to get that diploma? We helped him to find the kind of work that he needed so that he had some income for the family. And Tommy was excited to get back into school. He didn't think he was going to get that second shot, but we gave him that second shot. Tommy's interested in entering the military when he finishes high school, and we're helping him, preparing the way so that he can meet with the military and prepare himself. That's what Communities in Schools does. We're helping students change their lives, giving them the tools they need so that they can be successful. Again, thank you so much for being with us today. And what I'm going to do now is give you an opportunity to chat some questions, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. Okay. Here's a question. Tim, since the ReEngagement Center is so successful, are there plans to develop more centers in the Lehigh Valley or Reading? Great question. Actually, there are, and we have. It's been tremendous success. And we've been in some conversations with Northampton County to look at the dropout issue there and how we can actually put some resources in place to help kids get that second or third or whatever chance they need. So great question. And I think down the road, Reading would also be a place where we could envision creating a ReEngagement Center. Okay, do we have another question? Okay, here's another question. Are there schools in the Lehigh Valley where you would like to be serving? Great question. There are. You know, we tend to target high-need school districts. As you can see, we're heavily engaged in Allentown and in Easton, and we still think there's more opportunities to serve in some of the schools there, especially elementary schools, because we want to help to create a pipeline of services so that students who are high risk can receive those CIS services and help to be transitioned from elementary to middle and middle to high school. So I would say school districts are continue to grow in Allentown, look for more opportunities in the Bethlehem area school district, in Easton, and certainly Reading. Reading is a place where we think we can really make some impact. Okay, here's another question. CIS is known for being a dropout prevention organization. How are you making a difference in reducing dropouts in the Lehigh Valley? That's a great question. Really, in the last 2 years, we've really increased our presence in high schools. And in doing so, we can actually draw some inference of the kind of change that we're making there. Now, I do want to say that we often cannot claim full credit for changing the number of dropouts because we're not the only resource. However, we know that we're a big part of the solution. We know that since we've been in the Easton area school district, working in the high school, that dropouts have been cut in half, from nearly 60 a year to less than 30. We also know that just recently, our work in Allen High School, that they have noticed a 25% reduction in the first year that we've been serving in Allentown. So we're very excited about these numbers, but we're shooting for even higher. We're shooting for make sure that every student graduates. Okay, here's a great question too. What is the greatest need at CIS? You know, when you're a nonprofit, and that's a great question. When you're a nonprofit, you're always trying to make sure that you are using your resources in the best way possible. And while you'd like to put everything into programming, you also realize that we have to train our staff and make sure that they are ready for the kind of challenges that they're facing. So I would say one of our great needs is to continue to invest in our staff and to make sure that they have the kind of high quality training necessary. Always a need for a nonprofit is funding, and making sure that we have the funding that we need not only to sustain the good work that we're doing, but even to expand into new places. So our staff are our greatest resource, and but we're also looking to grow. So thank you so much for that question. Okay, here's a question. You mentioned the importance of one-to-one relationship for student success. How do your staff work with students in groups and individually to accomplish this important and much needed support? Again, great question. Let me give you an example of some of the kind of group work that we do. Let's say in an elementary school, there's some kids who aren't relating well and are kind of isolated. We put together what we call a friendship group, for lack of a better word. And what that does is it helps these students to get some of the social skills they need so that they can, have friends and grow friendships. In the middle and high schools, we do a lot in the mental health area. So sometimes it's for kids who are having problems coping with stress and helping them, again, to acquire those coping skills. Sometimes they're academic groups around a targeted, the ninth graders who are having trouble, learning algebra and need some help and support there, so that tutoring support. So the group work can be mental health, it can be social emotional, they can be around academic needs. The individual support stuff, the one-to-one. We're always working with goals for these kids, and the goals are going to be academic, behavior, and attendance, and helping them to achieve success. And one more thing about that, in order to help kids be successful, we have to work with their families as well. So connecting with moms and dads and guardians and tying them into this always yields better results. Thanks. Okay, I just also saw another question. I just received my invitation for your upcoming success event. I'm looking forward to it. Can you tell us more about this annual event? Are there any other upcoming events? Sure. Our success event is a wonderful annual event that celebrates student achievement. We have a lot of great student engagement in that. It's our gala. It's going to be May 4th at the Renaissance. And if you're interested in tickets or sponsorship, don't hesitate to ask. We have another exciting event coming up too on May 26th. It's going to be at Muhlenberg College. We're going to celebrate the wonderful journeys that our kids have gone through to graduate. And we're very excited about that. And we're going to have all of our graduates from different high schools and 5 school districts come together and celebrate their journey. So we're very excited. Okay, we might have time for 1 or 2 more questions. And actually, I'm just going to take a moment to share some really good news that we had, is that we were awarded some wonderful grants for after-school programming. Communities in Schools is proud that we're now going to be providing quality after-school programming, and that's 3 hours a day, 4 days a week for the entire year in 10 schools throughout the Lehigh Valley. This includes academic support, homework help, enrichment, physical activity, dinner, and in many cases, transportation home where it's needed. So this is a wonderful resource that can really help high-need kids to achieve great things. Okay. I think we're just about at 11:30. And once again, thank you to all those who participated today. Thanks for being colleagues in our joint mission to help kids succeed in school. Have a great day.